it actually wasn't. Welcome to... Anyway.
I'm not the musician here. That's you famous musician.
I'm not even a famous musician.
Have you guys heard of Reinhardt music? It's on Spotify.
Can you hear anyone saying yes?
Yeah. You've got an audience.
We actually do have an audience today.
And they've both heard about Reinhardt music.
But anyway, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
This is Gregorian Chat, not Reinhardt music.
No, it isn't, but it will
Anyway,
be.
I've got a new band.
Oh, right, yeah. What are they called?
The Stations.
I wouldn't. I've just been banned. I haven't really. I haven't made a band. I was in a band once actually called Absent Minds. Didn't think it through.
Well, because I was with a girl once who was actually too hefty to fit on a roller coaster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she had a bandwidth.
Ah, right.
Yeah. They wouldn't let her on.
Well, I mean, she'd need a broadband in order to get on. Hey,
this is great.
Fat shaming.
Not fat shaming. Health encouraging.
Hate speech.
Okay. Blame theme parks, bro, not me.
Yeah, I know.
It was actually really sad. We waited 2.5 hours in line for the Millennium Force, and at the end of it all, and she didn't want to go on the
ride anyway.
But we encouraged her to come, overcome her fears, and then she wasn't allowed on. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we're talking about alcohol.
Yes.
Is it okay to get tipsy? Is it a sin to get tipsy, Dom?
Everybody in love good.
Before I answer the question and find out that it is, I'm going to pour you some cider. This is old Mozart from Nelson, where all the best things come from.
What is it? I know a couple of things that come out of Nelson. Yeah.
You calling me a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Perry Madsen.
Perry Madsen, yes.
Yeah, good friend of ours. Good friend of ours. If you're watching, Perry. Shout out. So we've got some old moot cider. We've got a selection of alcohols. We're just going to put all these into the cups.
These mugs were given to us by the Shire itself. When I say given, I mean they didn't notice that we took them with us.
And when he says us, he means him and his wife.
We'll do a stealing podcast another time. We'll talk about stealing movies online and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Downloading.
No one will want to hear that. They'll be like, yeah, I'm just not going to watch that podcast.
Yeah. That's the best thing to do. If you find something you disagree with, just avoid it.
It's been a long time.
But something not to avoid is alcohol. Why? It's a very good thing. It's a very good thing.
Okay, well, so let's throw this out there. There are many Christians of the puritanical variety who would say that alcohol is not only should not only be avoided, but it's actually evil in and of itself. Perhaps the same kind of Christians that would also claim things like you should not dance because it leads to sex.
Yeah.
Or you should not. Huh?
Footloose? What?
Or
good movie.
I've never actually seen it.
Well, that's what it's about.
So, but I guess the question is, it's like, well, most Catholics, I don't think many Catholics would actually say alcohol in itself is bad. However, However, there'd be lots of Catholics who would say that, we're Catholics, so we get drunk. This is kind of what we do.
Yeah, and there's a lot of reason to back that up, that idea up, because of monks that make beer, and in fact there is a group of monks. I don't know where. I think they're somewhere in Germany, and
Trappists,
in the circus.
No, Trappists.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think it's the Trappists, but every Lent, what they do is instead of they give up food and they just have 3 beers a day.
Yeah, they're Trappists.
And they. Oh, cool. And they drink something that's called doppelbrot, which is something that they make themselves, and it translates to double bread because it's got so many calories in it.
I would love to try that,
Oh man, see how it goes.
I'm going to try and get.
Just imagine that though. You're at school, at lunchtime, just go. You're doing lunch.
Or your lecturer pulls it out. Your lecturer's a monk. And
or
But seriously, it's.
When I'm
is it even fasting anymore? When you're drinking a double bread craft beer for lunch.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not very fast when I'm drunk. But yeah, so we have all these things about booze, especially in Catholicism. So you've got one side of Christianity is like, alcohol's bad, you shouldn't drink it because getting drunk is evil. And then you have these Catholics that are like, we should always get drunk. Getting drunk is we create alcohol, therefore we should drink it, we have to, and therefore getting drunk is part of that. But I don't think that's true. I don't think either of these points are true.
Well, yeah, and this is a classic Gregorian Chat podcast is that we say something like, it's somewhere in the middle. But I'm actually veering towards drunkenness. Okay, I'm not.
I mean, how many have you had?
I'm just saying. Not right now. What I'm saying is,
especially my car.
Okay, so let me just throw this out there. You may agree, you may totally not agree. I feel like, because I don't know. I guess in the Bible, and from what Father Mike Schmitz was saying, it kind of says drunkenness of any kind is a sin. And you were saying it's grave matter to get drunk.
Yeah. Because you might die in a grave.
One of the best evenings I've ever had, when I was going out, was in terms of drinking. And I don't mean drinking to get drunk. I just mean having a good yarn over some drinks. My pastoral leaders growing up, and my good friend Aaron.
Right.
We were flatting together in Nelson. I'd come back from living in the States, and we organised to go over to their house just to have a good old chinwag because we hadn't seen them in ages. And so we that night we went through like a whole bottle of gin and a bottle of white rum between 4 people, and like by the end of the night it was like we were just very slap happy and just having great yarns, and it was very joyous, and we got a lot of encouragement because I think we were both in quite a low part in our life, in terms of wondering what we're going to do with our lives, etc., etc. Anyway, it was just the 4 of us in their house. Right. No one else. There was no other people there, and we all had a ball. It was so great. So I'm kind of like, we hadn't set up being like, we're going to go to their house tonight and we're going to get for schnicker, but it just kind of happened.
Yes.
And so I'm kind of like, well, was it sinful?
Right. Well, because it is grave. Getting drunk is grave matter because you are living in what you might call potential sin. You're putting yourself in a situation where you're likely to sin, like sleeping in the same bed as your girlfriend. It's like, we are human and we have like our own faculties, but you're not doing yourself any favors. No. So getting drunk, you don't make good decisions when you're drunk often. And you are kind of, your senses are dull, your inhibitions are let go a bit, and you're not using your intellect. Yeah. So, it is a dangerous situation to be in. However, I think it's how you go into the getting drunk situation. And it's like, I'm going to go and get drunk because it's Friday. That's the wrong way of doing it. And I think there's a serious Saturday. Is that the day?
No, I was just like, dang it, it's Saturday. I thought it was Friday. No. Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, I think that you're going into drinking alcohol wrong. It's like, okay, let's just buy the cheapest, nastiest tasting booze and drink it until we can't taste it anymore.
We can't feel our tongues.
And in fact, I remember someone saying to me, it's all like, someone said, "Oh, why don't you try this wine, rosé?" I was like, I don't really like rosé. He says, "Me either until after the second bottle, and I love it." And because he's drunk. But I think what we need to understand is the fact that this is part of God's creation.
Right.
And what does God create? Well, everything He creates is good, so it must be good.
And this is shown perhaps foremostly in the fact that you can't actually can't have the Eucharist, a valid the blood of Christ, if it's not actually wine. Therefore, not only is wine somehow inherently good, right, but it's pivotal in the sacramental process.
Yeah. In fact, in the changing of water to wine, and not only, but here's the important part, is He didn't just change it into any old wine. We ran out of wine, water to wine. Oh, it's the same wine as earlier, fantastic. No, it was exceptional wine.
Amazing wine. It was
of course,
like
God.
French. I wonder what that wine would have tasted like.
I bet it's the best wine that's ever been drunken in the human history.
But would it have tasted like an old French wine, or like a young New World kind of, just a flavourful...
I don't like wine, so I would hope it tastes like cider, personally. But no, and this is the point I'm getting onto, is we shouldn't be, Jesus, when He gives you alcohol, it's good stuff. And the head waiter said, "This is the good wine. This is the good tasting wine." And so what we need to do is we need to treat it with proper respect. And actually say, okay, no, I'm not just gonna go out and get drunk, but I'm going to enjoy something that's been created and that is good.
Right. This sounds like this is turning into the podcast about the art of drinking well.
Oh yeah.
In a way, right?
Well, but
it's like if you're going to drink wine, then would not the most Catholic arguments kind of put forward that you should then buy a wine glass that suits the kind of wine? Like a Pinot wine has its own wine glass.
Oh really?
Yeah. And a Chardonnay will have it in a different wine glass.
Oh. Now here we are drinking out
of clay pots. Is it more Catholic to have the correct...
Oh, definitely. Oh, I think
we like to do stuff well. Right.
And like, we call this the virtue of alcohol. The virtue of alcohol. And like, what is virtue? But it's mastering and being great at something. The virtuous man is someone that is a master of themselves and that is good. And so we should apply that not just to our lives and our moral life, which is definitely good and we should, but into everything we do. It's like, don't just go to McDonald's. Go to Burger Fuel. In fact, even better, make your own burgers.
Right.
Understand and appreciate what it goes into the burger making process and make a good burger. When it comes to alcohol, understand what is good about cider. So don't drink, the cheap stuff that just is sugar and apples flavouring, but something that's actually come from Nelson.
And as well, I think the most important thing, obviously if you're drinking alone, there's something wrong in your life. But the thing is, like, if you are drinking in a group, it should enhance the environment. It shouldn't make it so that, people are getting to the point of drunkenness where, there's maybe a fight breaking out, or even they're saying stupid stuff that they're going to regret later, or maybe they're gossiping, or maybe they're, like in general, if drinking will change your personality, or like the person you would normally be, because we like to be the person that we hold in high regard or whatever. Okay. Then it's not good. But in a group situation, having a couple of good drinks, or even more than a couple of good drinks, can really enhance.
Well, definitely.
And what's that quote that you were saying by?
Well, I'm just leading into that. It's like, because enjoying the alcohol is first and foremost, and you can do that on your own. You can have a nice cider with your evening meal and stuff like that, or a nice glass of wine in the right wine glass, or a good beer. But then when you're with friends, then we have this thing of getting drunk. Now, a wise man once told me, and he will remain nameless. A wise man once told me that not only is getting drunk in certain situations permissible, it is proper. It is the right thing to do.
Snap.
So what does that even mean?
To get proper drunk.
To get proper drunk. And again, that's not what it's talking about.
No, to get drunk properly.
To properly get drunk? It is proper. The getting drunk is the right thing to do.
Not for the sake of getting drunk, though, right?
No. Because
that's the important.
Because I mean, alcohol, though it is depressing, it can enhance such situations that you're talking about.
Honestly, like some of the deepest and most meaningful conversations I've ever had in my life has been when I'm quite drunk.
I think.
No, but like with somebody who's normally quite reserved and they've really opened up to me about their life and their problems, and something we've had a chat about it.
And so in that case, it's like it's kind of a lubricant to conversation. And like in a situation.
Come get your conversation lubricant, everybody.
Yeah.
By the way, we're not drinking these. We're
no.
Showing
they're empty. We've already drunken them. Anyway, and it's like, because some situations are just cause good merriment. So it's the right thing to do to be happy, to enjoy yourself, like a wedding, or a stag do, or a baptism, or whatever.
Honestly, one of the best memories I've ever had was my stag do. One of the last things I remember from that night was Dom with like a bottle of Laphroaig, which is a great smoky, peaty whiskey.
Oh, it's beautiful.
We were on the sand dunes somewhere on that way, and it was just a great time. There was a whole bunch of lads.
Yeah.
And we were just having a good old time.
And the thing is also, I've never been more drunk in my life, but I didn't have a hangover the next day because it was very good quality whiskey.
Right, and that's the thing.
And
do it well, and you won't regret it.
But so what we're saying is, like, there was a reason for celebration there.
Yeah, for sure.
And so everyone brought something that was of good quality, and we shared together, and
the Burgundy room.
And we took the Burgundy room.
Sorry, there was a room in the house which was straight out of Anchorman.
Every house needs a Burgundy room.
Yeah.
It's a dream of mine.
Anywho, sorry.
So it's like we've talked about the good quality of the alcohol, or of the food, or of the company that you're spending time with, or of the house that you're building, or of anything that we're doing. Talking about the good quality of it, and then taking that good quality and enjoying it with a group of people. It can, in the case of alcohol, it can lead us to being a bit drunk. With food, it can lead you to be absolutely stuffed full, having an extra serving, and it's like, that's the right thing to do, because if you're stopping yourself, or you're stopping the mood of saying, hey guys, we can't get drunk. Halfway through, your third glass is like, alright, we're putting the whiskey away now. No conversation, game over. It's like, no, it's about that sharing together, that moment, the camaraderie, the getting to know each other. Father Mike Schmitz talks about the inklings
He does indeed.
That's J.R. Tolkien. That's C.S. Lewis and all that band, and how it brought them together and it helped them come up with the ideas for these amazing books that they've written. Speaking of J.R. Tolkien, how does he start the Lord of the Rings trilogy? This amazing trilogy. He starts it with a huge party, which by the end of it, people are absolutely drunk.
But I think that I don't know if you would call, I mean, in a way though, you would call the hobbits kind of habits drunkenness. Like they quite often get drunk and do some silly things. And so my question is, what is drunkenness then? Because I feel whenever the Bible talks about alcohol in a negative way, it doesn't really. It doesn't talk about alcohol as the negative thing. It talks about drunkenness as the negative thing. And my question then is like, what is drunkenness exactly? Because I feel like it's almost tied in more with a lifestyle. Yes. It's tied in more with like an outlook on what you're doing. You know, what you intend to do when you're drunk. You know, we've been watching How I Met Your Mother again, and like a lot of it is based around drinking. And there's one episode where Barney convinces Ted to be like, you need to get drunk so that you start doing these things that you would, making decisions you normally wouldn't make, and your night will be, you know, legendary or whatever it says. But like in that instance, you're planning on losing control. Like you're planning on doing a couple of things which are like, you know, I just feel maybe it's because people are feeling incomplete in the first place, you know. But there is constantly in the Bible, I guess it looks down on drunkenness as a, you know, they always put it in with like orgies and stuff like that, where you're like, yeah, I mean, it's like if drunkenness isn't leading to orgies, then it's like you should probably avoid drinking. I mean, probably. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Should I walk into this building that's full of booze and naked people? I don't know.
Well, I think what drunkenness is really leading to, pointing towards, is a breaking down of what makes us different from animals, what makes us human. And what's that but our soul, our will and our intellect? Because I mean, alcohol does damage that. And so if we're doing it, and again, it's about are we using alcohol or are we abusing alcohol? Are we using alcohol to enhance a moment, to appreciate something that God's created, or are we saying, okay, I don't want to think about life at the moment, I'm going to damage my intellect and will using alcohol? And so alcohol isn't really a bad thing, it's how we use it. And that's the same with everything. I heard the examples like steel, the metal.
Well, it's 6 o'clock.
Yeah, the steel, metal that is you know, it's used for knives, it's used for, you know, car parts, it's used for like all sorts of good things. It's like it's a creation of God and it's good and it's holy. But if you use that steel to create a sword to kill someone with, all of a sudden it's being abused. But if you use that steel to create a shield or a barbecue or something, it's a good thing. So, and it's the same with alcohol, it's the same with, you know,
money.
our bodies, it's the same with, well, not necessarily money, but that's like...
Well, but people say money is evil, but it's not. Money is the root. They say money is the root of evil, which is actually not scripture either. But the love of money is the root of evil. In the same sense that the misuse of alcohol, the abuse of alcohol, instead of the appreciation of it, is quite often the cause of a lot of...
So I guess the question to ask is it enhancing our life? Or is it doing one of two things? Is it dulling our will and intellect? Or is it taking us further away from God, which in many cases is what it's doing? So I'm going to say alcohol's a good thing because God created it.
I'm going to say...
And in fact, for the longest time, it was the only safe way to drink water. That's where we get beer from. Yeah.
I mean, and the fact that the law backs up, you know, not to abuse alcohol is kind of something you should think about as well. You know, it's like... not only should we not get drunk because it might lead us to make bad decisions, but actually there are certain things you're actually legally not allowed to do. Anyway, I don't want to finish the podcast on that note. I agree with what you were saying. I feel like we should be the master of our lives.
We should be the virtuous drinker.
There we go.
So alcohol is virtuous. You know, it's good. I do enjoy cider. This is one of the ciders I enjoy. Probably because it's from Nelson, apparently.
Yes.
That's why I do doing podcasts with you, bro.
There we go. Random moment there. Thank you for joining us on the podcast. Thank you for our audience. Lovely.
Stay tuned for much more. God bless. Hey guys, thanks for watching the podcast. I've got good news. It just got a whole lot easier to search for us online.
All you got to do is search Gregorian Chat into YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, and Player FM for those who are on Android.
Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. See you later. God bless.